Alrighty, let's do this. Hey, what's going on? My name is Brian Bauer, and just to get somebody going, do you really need a Gibson? Today we're checking out the Epiphone Les Paul Custom. This is an old Epiphone that I borrowed from a friend, and they said, let's do a video on it, get it restrung, talk a little bit about this thing, just give you my overall impressions of it. And this might help somebody if you're looking to buy one of these guitars out there in the used market or new. Don't know if they sell this particular one new, but whatever, let's chat. If you are new around here, please click the like button, the subscribe button, the notification bell. Keep in mind, I've got a lot of videos out there, so go check some of those out. I've got music coming out. Just gotta film the video for that, and hopefully that'll be on the streaming services too. But you can also check out Overthought from this year. I think the next running title is Faceless Rhino. So without advertising, plugging myself anymore, let's get straight to the video. Today we have this absolutely beautiful Epiphone Les Paul Custom. I keep wanting to say special too. Let me tell you something. This is a really nice Les Paul, and it's an Epiphone. It's not a Gibson. It did not break the bank. It did not cost $4,000 in Canadian money or US money. I know Les Paul, Gibsons, it gets pretty pricey. And now we can talk about Gibson as a company and blah, blah, blah all day, but there's a billion videos about that and hating on Gibson. Here's the thing is that let's just forget about the corporation. Just let's focus on the guitars here. So there's the two brands, Gibson, Epiphone. Unless you've been living on some island for the last 50 years and never heard about guitars, we probably have heard about that. Wow, that was an explanation. This particular one, I think, is a gem. Now, not every Epiphone out there is amazing, just like Gibsons. They're not all amazing, but sometimes you just find the right ones. And when my friend who lent this to me found this one, he found a gem, and he doesn't even really play it very much, unfortunately, so I hope he does. This one sat in a closet for quite some time, so I changed the strings out on it. I oiled the fretboard. As you can see here in the B-roll, it was a little on the dry side, so I did that, you know, a little fret polish and some fresh Ernie Ball strings, which I never really use, but hey, they're working pretty good in this case. 9-42s. We're back in business, you know. We've got a lovely playing guitar. Didn't really have to do anything else to it. I'm gonna read these from my phone because I can't remember everything else. It's a mahogany body guitar. It's 24 3/4 inch scale neck, you know, got those mother pearl inlays, which I think look absolutely awesome. So this one apparently has a set mahogany neck that's slim tapered D. It's an awesome neck. There's a lot of necks out there. I find that are chunky, whatever. This one has that thickness, but there's something about this particular neck that I really do like. It is a very nice playing guitar. It's got a satin finish. It's got a rosewood fingerboard. It's got 22 jumbo frets. I'm thinking medium, but I guess they are jumbos. 12-inch fingerboard radius, and it also has a modern clipped ear headstock. So the Epiphone headstock, a little different than the Gibson. Okay, it's got a 5-ply body and headstock. Single-ply neck. So this is where I'm not really sure if this is correct or not for this particular one, because I don't know for sure. But it says, on the spec sheet, it says Alnico Classic humbuckers. And so I think it was a 5 and a 4. Now, there was questions of if these were the actual Gibson pickups, because some Epiphones come with the Gibson pickups. Well, if it came with the Gibson pickups, then hey, that's awesome. If it didn't come with the Gibson pickups, trust me, you don't have to change them. These ones sound great. So, you know, even if you did change them out, I don't think you're really winning. Just keep the ones that are in it. They're fine. They're more than fine. They give you that nice Les Paul sound. I like it. It also has a lock tone 2-pneumatic bridge with stop bar. I'm guessing Choptones is some brand that I am not 100% sure about. Never heard about them. So anyway, quite a nice bridge. Actually, this one, it didn't fall right off, so maybe, I guess that's correct. Yeah. And it also has Grover 16:1 ratio tuners. They're not locking tuners. I wish they were, but these ones are really nice. I have a set of similar tuners on an ESP, and they're good. This is a very nice spec'd out Les Paul, okay? An Epiphone Les Paul. You know, it's not a Gibson. You're not breaking the bank, but they really knocked it out of the park with this particular one. So I'm going to kind of talk a little bit about this guitar as if you are looking to buy a Les Paul, maybe never played one before, maybe you have the money for a Les Paul, but you don't know if you really want to get the Gibson. Well, in this case, if you can find one of these, even on the used market in good shape, you don't need a Gibson. This one plays absolutely awesome. It looks amazing. It has the same looks. Slightly different headstock. I know it doesn't say Gibson on it, but who cares what's on the headstock? It's all about you anyway, right? They made a quality instrument, so who cares? You know what I'm saying? Honestly, the finish on this guitar, really nice. It's black. It picks up all the fingerprints. I love the binding on this thing. I also really like the inlays on this guitar as well. You know, it's got all the traditional kind of Les Paul design, no chambered body and all that kind of stuff. Now, if you are buying a Les Paul, there are a few things that you should keep in mind. They are kind of imperfectly perfect. They're not the best designed guitars in the world. If you get one that sounds and plays great, you're in luck. There's just a few things I'll just point out that I don't like, just in case you are watching this video and you've never really tried one out. Here's a few things I don't like. Fret access up here, it's miserable, but this is just the design of the time. They don't need to change it. it's a Les Paul. Just keep in mind that if you're looking for this kind of access, it's not the best. As you can see, this neck joint is pretty chunky up here, so it makes getting to that 22nd fret for that bend a little tough. Now, I know all these boomers will be like, oh, but my heroes. I've had it happen in comment sections. And they're like, my heroes played it, and you just get used to it, and that's okay, cool, you just get used to it. It's just a bit of a design thing that I don't like. Would it stop me from buying this guitar? Hell no, I'd buy this guitar in a second. Another thing I don't love with Les Pauls, and so this is the love and hate part of this one. This volume knob for your bridge pickup is all the way down here. And this is your tone, or your neck up here, and the other ones are your tone knobs, okay? So here's the thing is like, if you're playing, nothing's in the way. Huge plus right there, nothing in the way. However, if you got to get to it quick, it's way down here. Not a huge deal. Now, you compare to the Fender Stratocaster, it's right up by the pickup, which is right in the way. So there's nothing in this case up here that gets in the way of your picking hand. That's great. I just have that little beef with this. So Les Pauls sometimes don't always have the best tuning stability, just the way the strings pull up through the headstock onto the tuners. I haven't had much of an issue with this particular guitar though. It's set up quite nice. The nut in this one, I'm not sure if it's just plastic or if it's something else, but it seems fine. I put graphite in it. Somebody put graphite in it before, so they must have known what they were doing. Tuners are killer, but in the overall, I don't have a whole lot of gripes because I can say, well, improve this about the Les Paul, improve that about the Les Paul. It's a Les Paul. We don't need to change too much, okay? We're buying this because we like that classic design. I love the look of this thing. This one plays really friggin' good, okay? And I might as well just, play a minute, Oh yeah, man. It's just, whatever they did with this neck, I have to say, I really do dig it. This is one of those guitars that would make me question, if I was playing the Gibson and I was playing this one, I would say, if you can try something like this, and it's really good, and you can compare it to the Gibson, which I wish I could, if this one is playing better, save your money. And I'm gonna say this, just save your money, because at the end of the day, the only people who care about the name on the headstock are just guys on the internet. But the Epiphone Les Paul Custom, I say is a win. I really like this guitar. I don't know what else I could possibly really say about the thing other than if you can find one of these at a good price, I highly recommend checking it out, picking it up if you're looking for the Les Paul shape. If you do want a competitor to this, or a different option that I think is a really great one, I would look at the LTD Eclipse. They're probably in a similar price range, maybe a little bit more these days, but they are a killer design. They have a really, really nice neck, very similar, and they'll have a few different options like Seymour Duncan pickups and EMGs. But that's if you want to go with a slightly more modern route. If you want to go more traditional, you want to stick in the, the Gibson style things, this Epiphone knocks it right out of the park. And it sounds great, and I really like this. Well, we made it to the end of the video. You guys can click the like button, the subscribe button, and the notification bell. I'd really appreciate that. You guys have an awesome day, and I will see you guys all in another video real soon. Have a good one. See yous.